Welcome back again, everyone, and this time we're going to be looking at the last two maps. First, we're going to dig around in the weapons section. We have an AK-47 dual Uzis and an air raid. The air raid takes a while to refill, though. It says it has one ammo, but it does refill, it just takes quite a while. Now, the last two maps are defense maps. I have a problem with these maps. They don't seem to be made to be completed in single player. There's only one of us, so the place we want to stand obviously is right in front of the building so we can protect it. The issue here is that enemies come from all directions, and there are a lot of them. In 4-player cooperative, it would be easy to, parse the enemies among your group. Not so much here. The first few waves are pretty easy, but it gets ridiculous around wave 6, at least in single player. If not earlier than wave 6, I might be overestimating. Something nice, though, is that the bombers run into you before they run into the building. They're programmed to target you first, so as long as you're standing directly in front of the building won't take damage from them. Just like in the other stages, some of the AI is programmed to do specific things. Like there's always that one guy that runs over that building to our right. I've never actually completed either of these defense missions. I don't know how many waves they last, and I've always died. It doesn't run on a timer like the other stages. Now, you can make it run on a timer, but that doesn't seem like how it's intended to be played. Because there are more waves than just 5 minutes of enemies. Way more than that. And this map is far more merciful than the other defense map. We're going to show off the air raid, which is the most satisfying weapon in the game, bar none. And you'll see why here in a second, as long as we time it properly. Yeah, I think that speaks for itself. Probably the most useful special weapon to have on this map in co-op. Maybe not so much in single player, where you can only use it once. Again, these maps can technically be completed reasonably enough if you set the timer to 5 minutes, but that's not the default game mode, and it's clearly not the game mode you were meant to play these maps with. We leveled up again. Well, we leveled up a lot between videos, but you didn't see that. So, as big a bullet sponge as we are, there's only one of us. And we can't really move around because we need to stand in front of the building to defend it. I think you're starting to see the issue. Now, oftentimes I die myself here before the people in the building die. The building has quite a few hits. Can't say the same for the other defense map. So let's talk about these new weapons besides the air raid. The AK-47 is as accurate and powerful as any of the previous weapons. The only problem is that the longer you fire it, the less accurate it gets. So you kind of have to fire it in short bursts. Not my favorite weapon. I still think it's better than all of the other secondary weapons you get up to this, but wow, I'm dead. Still dead. There we go. You can die absurdly fast in this defense map because there's simply too many enemies firing at you at once. Right now we're using the dual Uzi, or we were using the dual Uzis. I'm sure I'll show them off later, maybe. No promises, it's the same as the regular Uzi, there's just 2 of them. We can zoom in with the right click, but that only lets us really focus on one target at a time, which is not very useful for this particular map. Aside from the bombers, some of the enemies try to fire rockets at the town hall behind us, and they don't usually succeed, even if the rocket hits the town hall directly. It doesn't seem to impact its health any. Again, can't say the same for the other defense map. This one is by far the more merciful of the 2. I really just don't like these maps. I feel like I would like them a lot more in co-op. But I would never play these maps by myself for fun, you know? The funny thing is, I think the other defense map was in the original Foreign Legion. I hope they edited it to make it more difficult for this version, or the original version had a timer, because otherwise that would have been hell. But yeah, here's the dual Uzis. They work exactly like the singular one, they just have more bullets. They also get less accurate as you fire more, just like the AK-47. So, again, fire in short bursts. Unless you're up close, but if you're up close you might as well be using the AK-47. The primary weapons seem kinda useless, but I get the impression that they're meant to be a fallback. Still waiting. There we go. And I'm gonna die. There's really no way. It might have been wise to save my air raid for this one, but I'm also pretty sure this isn't the last wave. Yeah, I'm dead. That took about, what, 10 seconds? I got good money. And here's the screwed up text again. I know you missed it. Here's the last map. You couldn't read that, but we're basically just supposed to stop this oil pipe from blowing up. That's it. The thing is, though, that the pipe is basically made of glass or styrofoam. Any weak material of your choice. Like the other one, the first couple waves start out relatively easy. It ramps up a lot worse. A lot faster, though. How'd that guy even get on top of the pipe? So you can see there's like buildings and a whole bunch of neat stuff that we're never going to get to touch. Because we have to stay right here under the pipe. Unlike the town hall and the other defense map, pretty much any projectile will cause a break in the pipe. Yeah, like that. Do you know what hit the pipe? I don't know what hit the pipe. Something did. It can be frustrating because you don't actually know most of the time what hit your pipe or how you could have prevented it. Now, when a bomber blows up your pipe, that's pretty obvious. Sometimes it's not that obvious, though. I think the idea behind the design here was that all 4 players playing cooperative would be aggressive and take out the enemies before they even got reasonably close to the pipe. That's not really an option for me, though, and again, I believe this map was in the original Foreign Legion. So I want to think it was the pipe got hit again. I want to think it was edited somehow, or at least I hope so. Unlike in the first defense map, every enemy besides the bombers will aim directly for the pipe. And also, unlike in the first defense map, their bullets do instant, permanent damage to the pipe. I really don't think it's feasible to complete this map in single player. Maybe the Town Hall one, but I don't know how many waves was in that either. I would put my usual disclaimer here that I'm sure that somebody beat this map in single player on the intended game mode, but I highly doubt that. I doubt anybody else was lonely enough to play the defense maps in single player, or ever thought that would be a fun idea. Because it's not a fun idea. What would have been pretty cool is if they adjusted the waves, dependent on how many players were currently in-game. That would be a really neat idea. If they ever make a third game, square off this trilogy of theirs. Oh, pipe's broken. We can't do anything to fix it. We just have to watch as those numbers count down. The pipe's screwed, and it only has 15 seconds to live. We actually didn't even make it to 5 minutes. That's kind of funny. Usually I do slightly less terrible than that. So you've seen all the maps. You might think we're done. And we are done seeing most of the content, but there is still one gun left. And I have to grind a lot to get it. It's not worth it. That being said, I'm going to do it anyway. So I'll see you back for that. We're also going to give our guy a pumpkin head. Because I want to. There we go. So you've seen all the maps. And that's it for this video. I'll see you guys next time for... well, fuck all, really.